a fair bit of time preparing this as far as building the shed that you see around us. What, it's been about 4 years?
Is it 4 or 5 years?
4 or 5 years?
Yeah.
Yeah. This was actually a horse paddock, and we quickly ripped out all the fences and prepared to build a shed. And we filled it quite quickly. We thought we'd built something that was bigger than what we needed, and we filled it rapidly, didn't we? What sort of things we put in?
Like motorbikes, go-karts, cars, bikes.
What do we need more of? Time.
Yeah.
Time to complete the jobs.
We have like 5 jobs we haven't done.
5 jobs? We've got like 555 jobs that we haven't done. So what we might do tonight is just have a bit of a walk around the shed, look at some of the projects that we've got here that we're working on at the moment, and projects that have been sitting there for upwards of 20 years that we hope to work on at some point. So we'll just jump up in a sec, walk around. Obviously we've launched a little series that we're quite enjoying making called the Hellbent Garage. Promo come out last week. We've got the live right now, and next Sunday the 21st of August at I think about 5 o'clock we'll launch episode 1, which sort of delves into the first little project that Lex and I have got underway. So if you get a sec, next Sunday 21st, have a look at that one and let us know what you think. As we walk around, I'll show you some of the projects that we've got and some things in the shed here that mean a lot to me and that mean a lot to Lex as well. If you've got any questions, feel free to shoot them through. We'll carry around an iPad with us to keep an eye on that and answer them as they come up. And Lex is just watching himself on YouTube now at the moment.
Well, it's not coming in through the speak time.
It's not coming in yet, no, because no one's asked any questions yet. But Big Wheel Racing says he's excited. So here we go. We'll jump up and take a bit of a look around. As we do that, this is a supercar steering wheel. I've made a bit of a mount for it out of some gears that we wore out over the time in the transaxle in the supercar. This is one of the wheels from a full championship year of mine. You can see all the buttons on it, the dash ready to go, the Hidden Valley circuit map there. I'll just spin it around quickly, the mount and everything that you need on the back. I actually stole some of the buttons to make the simulator that we used in 2020. I stole some of the buttons off that, so it's not quite complete anymore. So there you go, steering wheel. As we walk around here, you can see, looks like a bit of a brick wall behind us. It's actually only 25 millimeters thick. We spent weeks and weeks and weeks putting this brick wall up that you see over here. All the mortar that went in, there's so much time and effort involved in getting all of that up. It's weeks and months actually, months and years. I think it took us all in all about 3 years to turn this from a horse paddock into the Hellbent Garage, so quite a bit of time. We've got a bit of a lineup here, all very different recreational items. Here's Lex's ALT 50 Trail Buddy. Talk us through this, buddy. Firstly, I'll notice, mate, you haven't washed it. You've ridden it in the mud. It's still mud caked all over it. Talk us through.
This is something I really like to do on the weekends. It's a very old piece of equipment. It's about 35 years old. It
is. It's actually, I think it's the same age as me, so 39 years old. This was originally the bike that Todd, my brother, learnt on when he was 2 years old, and I started riding when I was 3 years old. It went through a couple of owners and then back to us. And when Lex was 1, I rebuilt this from the ground up with a bit of help from a few people around us, including Robbie O'Brien from FlexiCut Engineering made the billet aluminium wheels for us. And it's been such a hit with Lex. He started riding that, I think, just prior to his 2nd birthday. He's about to turn 8 now and he's still on it. If I take this along with all the projects, we're going to be here till 9 o'clock, so let's have a look. Now, when I was a kid, Dad and I raced a couple of races in a little punt boat. Todd raced as well, and a lot of our family friends, with a little Tohatsu 18 horsepower engine. Now, this is a Mercury 44 XS. You can see the tiny little quick-foot leg on it. There was always one of these in Mildura that won all the punt races, and they were long overnight races, and I always used to just be in awe of the boat that come past with this engine on, and I finally found one in America, and with the help of a friend of ours, Michael Wood, we got it back here to Australia. So this is a project that hopefully we'll work on and build something to mount it on in the coming decades, I guess. You probably saw this on my social media, two-stroke powered jet surfboard. Looks like a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun. It's also quite difficult to ride, but we'll jump on that one in summer. Lex, what do we got here, mate?
We have my Honda 4-stroke.
Yep.
This isn't mine, it's my friend's. He's just borrowing it to come here. This is the
Monkey bike.
Monkey bike.
This is a monkey bike I bought on eBay, and you can ride that one now. It's got a clutch and gears. We've got a Honda Grumman, just a couple of Honda bikes that I've had through my years of working with that brand in supercars. Yeah, this is the big 450.
450.
This is an incredible bike, actually. I've ridden this a couple of times on a racetrack, and it's got so much power, I struggle to get to full throttle on it. I've ridden a lot. I've ridden since I was 3 years old, and so I'm not sure if they've developed this bike, and it's an incredible bike that's a lot faster than the other 450s I've got. I'm not sure if that's the case, or whether I'm just getting old and can't hold it flat anymore. Hopefully they've just developed her a long way and I've not lost what it takes. A couple of push bikes on the wall. When I used to train quite heavily to be a supercar driver, so they haven't seen a lot of action in the recent years. The McDonald's drive-through seen more action than the mountain bikes because I don't have to train as much as I did. And the shed's really littered with stories, if you like this Castrol tall boy here. I swapped this with a lovely gentleman that I met on the drivers parade in Bathurst. He's got this metal pressing business in a factory out the back, and I went and saw him after the drivers parade because he took me in his own car. And I saw him, I'm like, mate, geez, I really want one of them. And we ended up doing a deal. I gave him the bonnet off the supercar from the weekend and took a tall boy out of there. So, like I say, everything in here has a bit of a story to it. If we swing around here, we've got little man in his
old go-kart.
His old go-kart. Mate, talk us through that. Where do we find this one?
In a shed, been sitting around for...
In a shed. We found this on Facebook Marketplace, didn't we? Funnily enough, it's actually one of supercar team owner's son, Charlie. He raced with it, and then from there we got this flash new Parallel. Come have a look at this, mate. Talk us through your go-kart. Or you want me to push you around in that? You can go for a full spin at that. Look at that. Don't crash. The brakes might not work.
The brakes don't work.
Brakes don't work. Exactly. So this is the new Parallel kart that we've got, Lex. So he's actually done one race already at the Northwest Victorian Titles at my original home track at Mildura, the Mildura Go-Kart Club. Had a great time, and since then we've stepped up to this fancy Parallel, haven't we? How have you found this go-kart compared to your first one?
So, someone offered us a go-kart. This is a sponsored go-kart. Someone was kindly enough to give us a go-kart.
Yeah, Parallel.
Yeah, Parallel go-kart.
Parallel, they were so helpful, weren't they? We went and tested it at Queensland, and then we took it home, and since then you've found yourself a lot of pace. We need to get you into a race in this, mate. Absolutely, we do.
I'll get like fifth.
So again, as we walk around, if you've got any questions, feel free to type them into the live chat. We've got my cousin Jordan says, Lex, you little cutie. We've got some questions as well. Paul Watson says, hey, Rick and Lex, is the Nissan supercar still a runner? Well,
yes.
hopefully at the end of this YouTube live, if I can talk Lex into it, he's going to hop in the supercar and see if we can start it up. So you want to grab? Oh, you just moved the chat box, so now I don't know where it is. As we walk around, the Castrol fridge is a pretty old retro fridge. So Kyle, the painter at Kelly Racing, he's got his own business as well. Changed this from a Red Bull fridge into a Castrol fridge. So I've had this for a lot of time. And obviously the Castrol brand is quite close to me, so we've turned into an old gasoline Bowser fridge. All the beer in there is off because I don't really drink, and it's turned off. Again, Castrol 44-gallon drum seats, thanks to a close friend of ours, Mark Sedgman, bought them as a gift for the shed, and an old supercar rim that we've wrecked.
We bought this from an old workshop that we have in Mornington, is it?
Yeah, another place. And so there's an old car 15 rim. So they're pretty not sought after, but collector's item now because I don't wreck supercar rims anymore. Yeah. This is actually an interesting little one I thought I'd show you on the way past. So this is a little Villiers engine, a 50cc. Back in Mildura, when I was growing up, I bought this engine and little bike off our next door neighbour. His name was Wop Smith, and I paid $10 for this. And since then, I've got all the parts from the UK and different parts of the world and rebuilt it. So it's basically ready to be bolted into something. And
Yeah, it's like a three-wheeler, two-stroke.
a three-wheeler, two-stroke, yeah, something like that, to see if I have actually built it right and see if it actually runs. You reckon
Yeah.
it'll run?
Yeah.
It looks good. It looks shiny on the top of the bar, that's for sure.
Yeah.
New logo for Hellbent Garage. Pretty happy with the way it come up. You see it on the back of Lex's hat, and we'll probably have some items made in the near future. And this little Castrol drum, you remember where we got that, buddy?
Do we get that from the junkyard?
Yeah.
Yeah, like we got it from a yard
Ballarat,
sale.
the Ballarat swap meet we got that from.
An
That is
old
a ripper.
oil. It's an old oil can.
Yep,
It's
and
like
it's,
15 years old.
oh, I think it's more like 60 years old. It's even got Castrol oil still in it. But we'll get fresh stuff when we put that in our
If you maybe
projects.
look in there is a tiny bit of oil. You can see.
All right, I'll come around here, grab this. All right. All right, so this is the main work area in the shed. So, yeah, we'll head to that. So, at the moment, it's clear just for tonight. So we have the go-kart trailer that comes in, and whatever we tend to work on comes into this area. So we've got a little bit of space. So it looks nice and open now, but believe me, there's a stack of stuff out there that we'll bring in later. This is the first Hellbent Garage project that we've chucked a cover on. And Lex, don't say what it is.
I don't even know what it is.
Anyway, there it is. So we're in the thick of this at the moment. Again, episode 1 will come out next Sunday, so you can see exactly what the project is and what we're going to create and how we're going to go about it. This is probably one of my favourite things in the shed, the Snap-on tool. So obviously in supercars had the chance to work with Snap-on as a brand, but got my first toolbox when I was about 15 in Mildura, just
And
an
now I
empty
have
one.
it.
And now Lex has it actually hidden over the bench under there because, of course, he likes to use my tools and keep his nice and fresh. So this would be the favourite drawer in the toolbox. Take a look at that. Lex, by chance, you haven't taken these sockets here, have you, mate? Oh, there you go. So the ones that are missing, I've got these ones here. Bit of an idea that Lex might have taxed them. So probably in his toolbox. And favourite tool, of course, the hammer. And if that doesn't work and we want to get really, really pretty, the shifter. All right, Lex is pointing to the big engine. What is it, mate?
Believe it or not, this is a army tank engine.
It is. It's an army tank engine. It's actually called a Rolls-Royce Meteor V12.
Yeah, V12.
Most people know this style of engine and this base of engine as the Rolls-Royce that was out of, I think it was a Mustang or Spitfire. I've got to get my facts straight, but one of those. And there's obviously people that have put these into cars. The nicer version of this actually has a supercharger on it, and this is the tank engine that sits deep within the tank to power it. So not sure exactly what we're going to do with this yet. I'd love to get it going. The thing I love most about these engines is they used to be in the massive hydros in America, the unlimited hydroplanes used to, like I say, used to run these, so like Miss Budweiser and all that sort of stuff. So it's a very cool engine, weighs a ton, literally, and we need to... Hey, Lex has got some questions coming in. So need to work out what we're going to put this in. Again, the biggest enemy of us is the lack of time that we've got. What do you want to show next, Lex? What about the big old Black Betty?
Yeah, Black Betty.
Yeah. So this we've had in the family for some
trip of
double French aerials. Yeah.
They went in a trip to Bathurst in this.
That's a good part of the story. So if we take a look further down, can you read that? Bathurst road trip 2009. Todd Kelly, Rick Kelly, Nathan Pretty, and Ben Collins, who we know is what? Do you know? Maybe the word on the street is he might have been the Stig, the real Stig. So this was a fun one. Obviously it's lowered, not much suspension, the roof's been cut. This was actually cut at like a car shop, Phillip Island. I think it might have been called Chopped, and it was the first event there, and they cut the roof live at that event. There's got not much travel in this, and so with the bags in the back and us piled in as well, all the way to Bathurst, the diff bottom's out on the chassis. So we turned up that year with one heck of a headache. Beyond that, this 55 Chev has been in the family for some time. Let's take a bit of a look. Lex likes the tail lights there. Come on, buddy, jump through. In the background you can see the Nissan V8 supercar, which we'll go and have a look at in a sec. And if we spin around this way, this is one of the bigger projects that we've got. Now this is a 1955 Ford COE. Lex wants to take a look at the engine. I'll grab this so we can have a look if there's any questions come through. Now, do you remember when we bought this one, Lex? Tell us a little bit about it.
We bought the truck. We went somewhere to go buy it because we thought that we could start doing a project. And the project turned out to be a lot
bigger.
more than what we expected.
Exactly. Do you remember what happened? We thought it was going to be good to go. This was just as I retired. I thought, hey, let's grab a project together, Lex, and get started and see where we can get to with it. So it had a broken sump, and the guy that sold it's like, you just need to throw the sump on, it's pretty much good to go, but he's not going to guarantee that, obviously. So we didn't do our homework too well. We just wanted a project to jump into on the back of the career I had in supercars, and this was it. So we pulled the sump off, worked out that it was a far bigger problem than just the sump. So out came the engine, and I had the chance to rebuild this with a guy who's very well known in our industry, Charlie Saliba, who's done all our engine work and machining for my entire career. So I had the chance to rebuild this with Charlie at his facility and really enjoyed that entire process. So this is probably going to pop its head up throughout the Hellbent Garage series as well, with Lex and I working on it together to bring it to life, and obviously a fair bit of help from other people around the side to to get this going. It's such a huge project. Anyone that's restored a car from the ground up would understand what I'm saying. When you look at it, you think it won't cost much, won't take long. Well, some people say that. I said that because I'm really inexperienced and uneducated on that process. And as you dig into it, there is so much work involved. One of the big time consuming jobs is actually on the computer trying to source the parts for something so old. 1955, so it's 66 or something years old. I'm not great at maths, but it's just hard to find. America everywhere. So the wheels are a good thing. And again, once we get to this in the Hellbent Garage series, we'll look into it in a bit more detail. But the wheels, you cannot find a wheel to suit that stud pattern anymore. So you have to buy blank wheels and get the exact stud pattern custom machined into those. So it takes a lot of time to just organise all that. As you get into the cab and everything else, the body on this thing is in such great condition. There's hardly any rust on it. But it's just, hey?
Well, there's walnuts for America.
Yeah, there was little walnuts hidden in it, so obviously the quarantine process wasn't great, but just stress cracks all through the body. So we've had Mo the Fabby come along and give us a bit of a hand trying to get a bit of a head start on this. So we've done a little bit of work, but as you can see, there's still a lot to go. Really quite a different looking truck, this one. It's basically an F100 body that's lifted up and moved over the top of the engine, which is why it's called a cab over, obviously, and then a really cool looking stumpy little bonnet, which you can see on the ground over here. So this truck...
Questions?
Lex has got... You got a question? Or you can read questions, or you want me to read the questions?
You read questions.
I'll read the questions. So there you go. There's a lot still to do. Even these guards are out of the original Ford die in America that a company owns now, nice and thick, not the ones that you can get from cheaper countries. This is the good old stuff that we'll put on the back. So a lot of people put fiberglass guards on, which I'm not interested in. So that's going to be loud. So this is going to go out here and get fabbed basically to look like what an F100 truck would, rather than a tipper which might have been on it, or a flat top and stuff like that. So any ideas, guys, on what we should turn this one into other than a cool looking truck? You can have a pizza truck. What else could we have, Lex? A car carrier, motorbike carrier. Lex is gone. He's probably gone to do some welding. He's got no opinion on that. So let's take a look in here. I've got obviously a little bit of history from my supercars career up on this wall. If you have a bit of a pan across there, some of the bonnets and roofs that we've gone through in supercars, some of the windows which have been iconic to a few cool looking PR stunts that we did, like Daniel Ricciardo when he drove the car. The Madden brothers come for a bit of a hot lap with us from Good Charlotte at Phillip Island, York Bergmeister partnership at Gold Coast when we had internationals. A couple of number boards from different tracks and different bonnets, which is pretty cool. Stan the man says, what's your favourite piece of equipment? Definitely the shifter and the hammer. As far as my favourite thing in the shed, I don't really have it because it's a shed built with all my favourite things in it. Here's Lex with his simulator. So I did see a question come in about the sim saying, do we still have it? I don't have my sim because it took up so much space in the shed, but this is the sim that we built Lex here when we
Built the other one.
built the other one. So of course Lex needed his own. It doesn't sit here in the fab shop. It's just parked here at the moment to give us some more space. So this little area here is obviously the fab shop where we get in here and do all the dirty work. Some turkey decided to paint the walls white in a fab shop, which was me. I'm not sure why. I thought I could keep it clean, but can't. Been practicing a little bit of aluminium welding. Please don't go too close to look at that because it's really average. I'll turn it over so you can't see. So plenty of work for me. I got no idea on how to weld aluminium. So send tips if you can. The SIG weld welders. Now this is definitely Lex's favourite equipment here in the Hellbent garage. I've taught him to use the MIG. We're still working on the TIG because it's a little bit of a finer process. I've done probably more TIG welding in my lifetime than I have on the MIG. Most of the stuff I've done with this is stainless steel. So I'm quite keen to work out how you do go about welding, TIG welding aluminium, and hopefully through the process of the Hellbent garage series you'll see some welding from both Lex and myself. These have been used quite a bit. They're nice and new, and thanks to SIG-Weld for helping us glue things together. Isn't it? Cool.
Piece things together to make the garage.
Piece it together to make the garage. So let's go take a look at that supercar. Any questions that we've got, again, feel free to fire them through. Someone said, love the fridge. You can't read them, so you want me to, remember?
I want to read them.
Here you go then. So here's the Nissan V8 supercar. This is basically as it rolled off the track. I keep saying Homebush, but obviously it's not, it's Newcastle. As it rolled off the track at the end of the Newcastle event, the final round of 2019. So Todd actually drove it down my driveway into the house and finished prepping it for us as well with the other guys at Kelly Racing. As you saw there, the stickers of some of the highlights of the 20-year career I had in supercars. And it's pretty cool to have this sitting here. Obviously it's not the last supercar that I drove because I drove the Mustang for the final year of my career in 2020, just 2 years ago or 18 months ago. But to have this here is awesome. It's a full complete supercar ready to go. That wind's a bit loud on that door.
No, I'm not getting
so
a haircut.
this is actually the last supercar to win a race in the Supercar Championship, which I think is pretty cool. It's obviously an iconic part of my career because we raced Nissan for so many years and brought the new manufacturer into the category. Let's have a look under the bonnet. We've taken give him a lift on that side, pal. Yep. There it is. Looks pretty cool under there.
No, I am not going to cut my hair.
Winnow said hi. There you go. Thanks for tuning in, Winnow. Well, I did say that my favourite tool was a hammer and shifter, and Winnow, who was my mechanic for so many years there, one of the most loyal Kelly Racing team members that we ever had. I hope you're going good, Winnow. We'll catch up soon, mate. This is the car that you've spent a lot of time preparing for me, so let's see what Winnow's works like. Should we see if we can start it? I think you should. Hop in and I'll help you.
No.
No! Ah.
It's loud.
All right, let's see. Now, if it doesn't start, it's because I haven't got enough charge in the back and enough fuel. And there's probably other excuses. And of course, supercar drivers are great at giving excuses. So there's my two before I try this. Here we go. Turn that master on. I hope it's not in gear, mate. Don't stand in front. Might mow you down.
I don't trust you.
He doesn't trust me. That's terrible news. Uncle Todd only gave me a couple litres of fuel, unfortunately. He must be dear at the Bowser. So we drove it up and down a couple of times, and hopefully there's a couple 100 millilitres to get it started. So close. I can hear the fuel. What about that?
everyone that's watching.
Yeah, well, there you go. She started. Nice work, Winnow.
Thanks for all my friends for watching.
Lex says thanks for everyone for watching. Well, there you go. That's, I guess, the main areas of the Hellbent garage. If we have a look over here, there's obviously a fair bit that we didn't cover tonight. We've got a storeroom up top, a gymnasium that no one ever uses, a storeroom down here for all the dirty stuff, vacuums and things that are put away. We set up a bathroom, a little bar and kitchen. And there's a bit of a trophy that you can see there in the old Oakley cabinet. That's a good one. A winning trophy. Not many of them around here, unfortunately, nowhere near enough. But that's about it. Like it's space that we've built for everyone in the family to come down here and enjoy. And there really is no end to the projects that we've built here in the Hellbent garage, and that we hope to build in the future. Like here's as we walk back over and finish off, here's a good example. We had a couple of... Yeah, talk us through this, Lex. What's going on here?
I really wanted a roller skates. We had an old pair of boots laying around, and so these are already stuck in. Yeah. This was a skateboard. We took the wheels off and we put a piece of plywood on. Yeah. And then we bolted. Yeah, we put tech screws in, and now it's rollerblades.
It's high risk as well. If you look underneath, particularly of this one, the tech screws are a bit long, so you're likely going to cut yourself open. So when Lex uses these, we normally just chuck half a dozen Band-Aids in his pocket and send him on his way. And they're good fun, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, if you're looking to get a butt injury, that's the thing.
That's the one. Yeah, it does hurt when you fall off. That's a special secret. But let's finish off on this one. This is a project I get asked about all the time. Today we're asked again about it. This was the remote control jet powered car that I built back in 2009. It's something I spent about 1,000 hours creating. You can see the jet turbines here, real jet turbines. Little starter motor on the front, the fuel tank. Everything on this thing was made by hand. That's why it took me over 1,000 hours to get it to run. We had the TCUs in here, disc brakes on the back, a parachute that we made, this AA arm front end I fabricated at our other shop K2 just out of 6mm rod and stainless bolts that we welded together, milled up a little upright in the machine. Of course, it didn't go very well. Unfortunately, there was a scheduled run that I had to make, and I just wasn't quite ready to do it. So we tested it the day before the record attempt, and it handled absolutely horrendously. I keep using this as an explanation of how it handled, but if you blow up a balloon and let it go, and it goes all over the place, that's exactly what a car like this handles like when you turn these turbines up. So we didn't get the chance to rectify the issues and had to make the attempt in 2 days, and obviously it went horribly. I think the maximum speed it got to was 93k an hour. This here that Lex is holding is actually one of the wheels from it. We machined these really cool billet aluminium wheels for it. That's where the disc for the disc brakes sat. And then I've got these special O-rings to put on it. You can see how grooved up it is. Now, really good idea as far as Salt Lake car goes. This is a good design for that, but running on a bitumen surface like what we had, it's got no grip and no suspension. So it didn't work very well. We had to, by the rules, build this car to be with an exact replica of the real car that held the land speed record, which is called the Thrust SSC. That record's 1,227 k's an hour. So the record that Guinness gave us for this that we had to beat was a scaled down version of that one. So we didn't get there on that day, but the work that went into this was pretty intense, even to the point where I tested these wheels in a high-speed lathe, spinning them up. I worked out at the speed I wanted to get, these would be doing 10,000 RPM, and the O-rings were flying off it at about 2,000. So we had to get special glue and test everything, and again, unfortunately, it didn't work. So again, with the Hellbent garage, hopefully this might be a project where we get some bits and pieces together and get this going again. The idea of this one come about in like 2002, so 20 years later, where we just got a box of parts here and we're none the wiser. So there you go, that's the Hellbent garage. You're seeing a lot of projects that we've got here. We've really not shown you any completed projects because there are none, and that's what the Hellbent garage is about. It's about Lex and I jumping into the shed here and getting amongst it, seeing what we can create with the shed that we've built, all the tools that we've got, and don't swing that around. I haven't got any Band-Aids in your pocket, all right? So there you go, that's I guess the most of the shed. Is there any questions here, buddy? Matthew Cullen, how are you, mate? It's been a while since I've had a bit of a chat to you. He says, can he have a hot lap inside that supercar? So we haven't really got a track or the components to get that done anymore.
I have done that like
yeah, I took you out the driveway, yeah, just so that you could see. Because unfortunately, I've retired early and you can't come with me in the supercar. But yeah, it sits there. Maybe one day we'll get it back out and do a track day. That'd be pretty cool because Todd's got one of the cars as well. So maybe we'll get the chance. We've got another one here. It says, love the Kramer portrait. Yeah, so do we. It's pretty cool. When I set up the simulator in here, we had the commentary team, I think Jess Yates and Scafey and the team were commenting on that. It was in the background a fair way away. And initially, I think they thought that it was a self-portrait of myself up on the wall. It's definitely,
I don't know why.
Definitely not. It's definitely Kramer. But again, even on the bar, there's some important and meaningful items. A 12-hour second outright trophy. You've got Lex there.
And my phone.
On the 2020 road trip when we caught some fish at the Barramundi farm. Certificate of the Hornet ride that we got the chance to do, Todd and I. Then what about this? Not many pictures around in here, but good old Russell Coit here, David Russell, gave us a picture in 2011 after he drove with us. Doesn't he look like Russell Coit? Top bloke he is.
And my
Thanks
phone.
for the picture, Coity. That's appreciated. Again, thanks very much for everyone that's tuned in tonight on the live. Another quick reminder that the Hellbent Garage first episode is going to air next Sunday, 21st of August. Lex might do
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Lex might do a bit of dancing in that as well. 21st of August, 5 p.m. See what we get up to.
Yeah.
Thanks again, everyone, for tuning in. Really appreciate it. What else you got, Dan?